Okay, so time for the third tag of the day, and this is the spring cleaning book tag. So number one is the struggle of getting started. What is a book that you struggle or have struggled with because of size? So I'm gonna go with a book that I have not yet started. I really want to, but just the time and everything to sit down with that giant of a book just has not happened yet. But one day I will find peace and quiet and just have a nice morning, maybe have a nice cup of tea and everything, or coffee, and just sit down and read. I love audiobooks and everything, but sometimes it's nice to just read a book. And that would be the copy of The Lord of the Rings that I have. I don't have them separated. I have it where it's bound up like 1,000 or so pages, so you get why that would be an issue. Cleaning out the closet. A book or books you would like to unhaul. I don't know if I'm going to unhaul books. Because there's quite a few that I've DNF'd, or actually just a couple, but that's a lot for me, that I have DNF'd, and, oh my god, sorry, there's a kitty climbing up on me, and, you know, I'd really like to finish them to kind of form an opinion. One that I read that I didn't care for was All American Girl, which you've heard me rant about that one. So perhaps that one. Opening windows to let fresh air in. What's a refreshing book? So I mentioned in my last tag, An Abundance of Catherines. I like that book. I find it humorous. It's light. It's fluffy. Light and fluffy. Whatever word you want to use. And I know it's not people's favorite, but, you know, you have a love-struck guy instead of a girl this time, but yet he has more to him than that. He's a child prodigy. The road trip thing was a little disappointing. I would like them to have gone to go to more places, but whatever. But yeah, it was just a little different, and I like that. Washing out the sheet stains. If you could rewrite a certain scene, what would it be? And I don't know, like, a lot of my favorite books, I kind of like them as is, but if I had my way, and I know a lot of people think I probably should pick someone else, and then it may even be a little cliche and everything, but the Finnick thing wouldn't have happened. At least not to the degree it did. Polishing doorknobs. What book had a clean finish? Or a book that had a clean finish? And what honestly is a clean finish? I mean, I think a lot of books, they have endings and that's it. But I feel that a good book or a good series or whatever leaves you wanting to know more about those characters, about what happens to them, and about their world. And this one's really hard to think of, because you try not to repeat books and stuff, but it's like very rarely I find books that kind of end and that's it. I would probably say The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. I think that one ended really well. And you guys are getting a face full of kitty. I know you guys all went dark. Sorry. Get out! They don't want to see your butt. Reaching to dust the fan. What book tried too hard to relay a certain message? And for that, I'm going to have to say, even though I did enjoy it, I bought the book over at Goodwill, but We Were Liars. I thought that it was a bad book. I mean, obviously, I picked up a copy. I love the prose in there. I love, like, the language is kind of, like, flowy and, like, flowery and, all, you know, all that good stuff. And there was, I guess, a slight theme dealing with, I guess, racism in a way, you would say. Not hardcore racism, but basically what the story is about is this girl, her family is quite wealthy. They have, like, their own little island. And something happens and she can't remember it. There's, like, this accident and no one really wants to talk about it. And there is a boy that she likes. I believe he's Indian. And, you know, he mentions how, like, her grandfather voted, like, for Obama and this and that, but he still wouldn't be comfortable with people of color in his family. And while those are definitely big issues, like, I'm not saying at all that prejudice and all that doesn't exist today, because it very much does. And I believe anybody can be capable of that, whether it be, you know, racism, ableism, transphobia, whatever, you know, any horrible thing you can think of. I think anybody can be capable of that. But the way this book was written, I feel that it just didn't fit the time period. Like, if they had set this book years ago, or maybe had kind of a past, present, and going into the future thing, where they kind of flip-flop back and forth, but the way the language was to be set in the modern time, it just didn't feel fully authentic. For it to be just this young girl in, you know, this modern time, and these things to be brought up the way they were, it just, I feel there's other issues of, like, prejudice and things that it probably could have touched on, and yeah, like I said, it just didn't quite fit. I enjoyed it, but it seemed maybe a little too much. Tiring yet satisfying. And finishing spring cleaning. Sorry, I kind of, like, shortened these out a little bit. So I think, because I'm so horrible at writing this, it was tiring yet satisfying finish of spring cleaning series. Tiring yet satisfying to get through. Okay, so now I remember this. So I haven't read a big series just yet, like, finished it. So I'm going to go with a single book. And it's a book that I want to reread, because I feel like I didn't get enough information out of it, but I did enjoy the story. And that's 1984. Just because, like I said, I'm very interested in dystopians, and it was a quite interesting book, but for the longest time now, I've read a lot more young adult and middle grade, not that I haven't read any adult at all. But this one was a little bit more serious, and then I kind of had to find audio so I could read it, because print was just a little too small for me. But yeah, I'm going to go with that one. So that is the spring cleaning tag. A lot of these, I don't know who's done this one. So I tag everyone. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Bye-bye.